Broadcasting to you from somewhere deep in the heart of Texas. Once again, it's me for you. Hello, how are you doing? I've been a little negligent with the broadcast. Had so much going on in life, sometimes that happens. You get a little busy, outside of your stereo life, man. It's outside of your YouTube life. Your YouTube life, you get busy. I do a lot of stuff on stereo as well. Okay. So I'm going to pick up where I had left off before. Okay. So then he answered me and said, "This is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. That if he be overcome, he shall suffer, as you have said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say. For this is the life whereof Moses spoke unto the people while he lived, saying, Choose you life that you may live." And there's a spirit battling for you. That's an awesome picture. Love it. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we are on Second Esdras, and it's chapter 8. He appeals for mercy. Okay. I'm going to get my glasses on real quick so I can see a little better, and I won't read so slow. Okay. Okay, it says here, many created but few saved. He asked why Elohim destroys his own work, and pray Elohim to look upon the people which only serve him. Elohim answers that all seed comes not to Elohim, and that glory is prepared for him in such life. And he answered me, saying, The Most High hath made this world for many, but the world to come for few. I will tell you a similitude, Ezra, as when you ask the earth, it shall say unto you that it gives much mold whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold comes up. Even so is the course of this present world. Ezra again appeals to Yah's mercy. There be many created, but few shall be saved. So I answered and said, Swallow then down, O my soul, understanding and devour wisdom. For you have agreed to give ear and are willing to prophesy. For you, or maybe it's prophesying. For you have no longer space than only to live, O Yahuwah. If you suffer not your servant that we may pray before you, and you give us seed into our heart and culture to our understanding, that there may come fruit of it, how shall each man live that is corrupt who bears the place of a man? For you are alone, and we all one worship of your hands, like as you have said. For when the body is fashioned now in the mother's womb, and you give it members, your creature is preserved in fire and water. And 9 months does your workmanship endure, your creature which is created in her. Okay, so here's one thing. Let me say this. We've always been taught that we're made of the earth, we come from dirt, and that the angels were fashioned from fire. Right here it says, your creature is preserved in fire and water. And 9 months does your workmanship endure. So is that something that's been kept from us? Are we not taught that we are not fire? We're not from fire as the angels were. We're not the same creation as angels. We don't come from fire. We're not fashioned in fire. We're fashioned from the earth. And right here it clearly says fire. Mm-hmm. Roots, am I misunderstanding what I'm reading? Because, even though they chose not to make this a valid canon, I feel like it is worthy. And sometimes words are kept from us. Certain things are kept from us. Words are changed. And this may be one of them. This may be something that was changed. I don't know. I'm going to go back over to this other page, and I'll come back and see if you have anything to say about this, because I value your opinion. Okay. But that which keeps and is kept shall both be preserved And when the time comes, the womb preserved delivers up the things that grew in it. For you have commanded out of the parts of the body, that is to say, out of the breast, milk to be given, which is the fruit of the breast, and that the thing which is fashioned may be nourished for a time till you dispose it to your mercy. You brought it up with your righteousness and nurtured it in your law, reformed it with your judgment. And you shall modify it as your creature and quicken it as your work. If therefore you shall destroy him, which was so great labor was fashioned, it is an easy thing to be ordained by your commandment, that the thing which was made might be preserved. Now therefore, Yahuwah, I will speak touching man in general, you know best, but touching your people, for whose sake I am sorry, and for your inheritance, for whose cause I mourn, and for Israel, for whom I am heavy, and for Jacob, for whose sake I am troubled. Therefore will I begin to pray before you for myself and for them. For I see the falls of us that dwell in the land, but I have heard the swiftness of the judge, which is to come. Therefore hear my voice and understand my words, and I shall speak before you. This is the beginning of the words of Ezra before he was taken up. And I said Ezra's prayer. Right? And I said Ezra's prayer. O Yahuwah, you that dwell in everlastingness, which beholds from above things in the heaven and in the air, whose throne is inestimable, whose glory may not be comprehended, before whom the host of angels stand with trembling, whose service is conversant in wind and fire, whose word is true and sayings constant, whose commandment is strong and ordinance fearful, whose look dries up the depths and indignation makes the mountains to melt away, which the truth witnesses. Oh, hear the prayer of your servant and give ear to the petition of your creature. For while I live, I will speak, and so long as I have understanding, I will answer. Oh, look not upon the sins of your people, but on them which serve you in truth. Regard not the wicked inventions of the heathen, but the desire of those that keep your testimonies in afflictions. Think not upon those that have walked feignedly before you, but remember them, which according to your will have known your fear. Let it not be your will to destroy them which have lived like beasts, but to look upon them that have clearly taught your law. Take you no indignation at them which are deemed worse than beasts, but love them that always put their trust in your righteousness and glory. For we and our fathers do languish of such diseases, but because of us sinners you shall be called merciful. For if you have a desire to have mercy upon us, you shall be called merciful to us, namely, that have no works of righteousness. For the just, which have many good works laid up with you, shall out of their own deeds receive reward. For what is man that you should take displeasure in him? Or what is a corruptible generation that you should be so bitter toward it? For in truth there is no man among them that be born, but he has dealt wickedly, and among the faithful there is none which has not done amiss. For in this, O Yahuwah, your righteousness and your goodness shall be declared if you be merciful unto them which have not the confidence of good works. Okay, so here's the response to Ezra's prayer. Then he answered me and said, some things have you spoken aright, and according unto the words it shall be, your words it shall be. For indeed I will not think on the disposition of them which have sinned before death, before judgment, before destruction. But I will rejoice over the disposition of the righteous, and I will remember also their pilgrimage and the salvation and the reward that they shall have. Like as I have spoken now, so shall it come to pass. For As the husbandman sows much seed upon the ground and plants many trees, and yet the thing that is sown good is his season and comes not up, neither does all that is planted like take root. Even so is it of them that are sown in the world. They shall not all be saved. I then answered and said, If I have found grace, let me speak. Like as the husbandman's seed perishes, if it come not up and receive not the rain in due season, or if there come too much rain and corrupt it, even so perish man also, which is formed with your hands, and is called your own image, because you are like unto him, for whose sake you have made all things, and liken him unto the husbandman's seed. Be not wroth with us, but spare your people, and have mercy upon your own inheritance, for you are merciful unto your creature. Esdras' final appeal for mercy. Then he answered me and said, Things present are for the present, things to come for such as be to come. For you come far short that you should be able to love my creature more than I. But I have oft times drawn near unto you and unto it, but never to the unrighteous. In this also you are marvelous before the Most High, in that you have humbled yourself as it becomes you, and has not judged yourself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. For many great miseries shall be done to them, that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. But understand you for yourself, and seek out the glory for such as be like you. For unto you is paradise opened, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared, plenteous is made ready, a city is built, and rest is allowed. Yes, perfect goodness and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and the moth is hidden from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and in the end is shown the treasure of immortality. And therefore ask you no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish. For when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, though scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous, and said in their heart that there is no Elohim, yes, and knowing that they must die. For as the things aforesaid shall receive you, so thirst and pain are prepared for them. For it was not his will that men should come to nothing, but they which be created have defiled the name of him that made them, and were unthankful unto him which prepared life for them. And therefore is my judgment now at hand. These things have I not shown unto all men, but unto you and a few like you. Then I answered and said, Behold, O Yahuwah, now have you shown me the wonders. Have you shown me the multitude of the wonders which you will begin to do in the last times? But at what time you have not shown me? Who shall be saved and who not? All the world is now corrupted, yet Yahuwah does save a few. He complains that those perish which keep Elohim's law, and sees a woman lamenting in a field. More about the signs of the end. He then answered me and said, Measure you the time diligently in itself, and when you see part of the signs past, which I have told you before, then shall you understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shall you well understand that the Most High spoke of these things from the days that were before you, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world has a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works, and by faith whereby you have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Then shall they be in be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, and they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them. Hang on a second. Um, I was in chapter 8. Yeah, I'm on 9 now, Roots. Yeah, it was at the very, very beginning of chapter 8. All right. I had to stop because I had to cough. Okay. So, and they have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. The same must know it after death by pain, and therefore be not curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created. If you want to, we'll go back over that whenever we're done here. I don't want to lose my voice right now. I want to lose it. Okay, so the argument recapitulated. Recapitulated. Sorry. Then I answered and said, I have said before and now, do speak and will speak it also hereafter, that there are many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved. Like as a wave is greater than a drop. And he answered me, saying, like as the field is so, is also the seed, as the flowers be. Such are the colors also, such as the workman is. And Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye not be troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And these are the beginning of sorrows. Matthew 24, 4-8. Okay, so the last word here was, such as the workman is, also is the work. As the husbandman is himself, so is his husbandry also. For it was the time of the world. And now, when I prepared the world, which was not yet made, even for them to dwell in, and now live, no man spoke against me. For then everyone obeyed, but now the manners of them which are created in the world, in this world that is made, are corrupted by a perpetual seed, by a law which is unsearchable, rid themselves. By a perpetual seed. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster, and a plant of a great people. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept, and my plant, for which great labor have I made it perfect. Nevertheless, if you will cease yet 7 days more, but you shall not fast in them. Oh, hang on, I'm smelling smoke really bad. Let me make sure that fire out the spread. Hello, little baby. make sure I didn't mute. Okay, sorry about that. That was somebody calling me from stereo. Okay, I guess he put that fire out. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start with 23. Nevertheless, if you will cease yet 7 days more, but you shall not fast in them, but go into a field of flowers where no house is built, and eat only the flowers of the field, taste no flesh, drink no wine, but eat flowers only, and pray unto the highest continually, then I will come and talk with you, the abiding glory of the Mosaic law. So I went my way into the field, which is called Ardeth, like as he commanded me, and there I sat amongst the flowers, and did eat of the herbs of the field, and the meat of the same satisfied me. After 7 days I sat upon the grass, and my heart was vexed within me, like as before. And I opened my mouth and began to talk before the Most High, and said, O Yahuwah, you that shows yourself unto us, you were shown unto the fathers in the wilderness, in a place where no man treads, in a barren place, when they came out of Egypt. And you spoke, saying, Hear me, O Israel, and mark my words, you seed of Jacob. For behold, I sow my law in you, and it shall bring fruit in you, and you shall be honored in it forever. But our fathers, which received the law, kept it not, and observed not your ordinances, and through the fruit of your law did not perish, neither could it, for it was yours. Yet they received it perished, because they kept not the thing that was sown in them. And lo, it is a custom when the ground has received seed, or the seed ship, or any vessel, meat or drink, that being perished wherein it was sown or cast into it. That thing also which was sown or cast therein, or received, does perish, and remains not with us. But with us it has not happened so. For we that have received the law perish by sin, and our heart also which received it. Notwithstanding, the law perishes not, but remains in his force. The vision of a weeping woman. Okay. That smoke was coming into the house, bugging me. I had to take care of that right quick. And when I spake these things in my heart, I looked back with my eyes, and upon the right side I saw a woman. And behold, she mourned and wept with a loud voice, and was much grieved in her heart. And her clothes were rent, and she had ashes upon her head. Then I let my thoughts that I was in go, and turned, excuse me, unto her, and said unto her, Wherefore you weep? Why are you so grieved in your mind? And she said unto me, Sir, let me alone, that I may bewail myself, and add unto my sorrow. For I am sore vexed in my mind, and brought very low. And I said unto her, What ails you? Tell me. She said unto me, I, your servant, have been barren, and have no child, though I had a husband 30 years, and those 30 years turn my phone off so it doesn't ring anymore. There we go. In those 30 years, I did nothing else day and night, every hour, but make my prayer to the highest. After 30 years, Elohim heard me, your handmaid, looked upon my misery, considered my trouble, and gave me a son. And I was very glad of him. So was my husband also, and all my neighbors, and we gave great honor unto the Almighty. And I nourished him with great travail. So when he grew up and came to the time that he should have a wife, I made a feast. Chapter 10. He comforts the woman in the field, and she vanishes away, and a city appears in her place. The angel declares these visions in the field. Vision of the weeping woman continued. And it came to pass that when my son was entered into his wedding chamber, he fell down and died. Then we all overthrew the lights, and all my neighbors rose up to comfort me. So I took my rest upon the second day and night. Then it came to pass, when they had all left off to comfort me, to the end that I might be quiet, and I rose up by night and fled and came hither into the field that you see. And I do now propose not to return into the city, but here to stay, and neither to eat nor drink, but continually to mourn and fast until I die. Then I left the meditations wherein I was, and spoke to her in anger, saying, foolish woman, above all other, see you not our mourning, and what happened unto us? How that Sion, our mother, is full of heaviness, and much humbled, mourning very sore. And now saying, we all mourn and are sad, for we are all in heaviness. Are you grieved for one son? Hey, you guys, stop. For ask the earth, and she shall tell you that it is she which ought to mourn for the quiet. Hush! Be quiet. Which ought to mourn for the fall of so many that grow upon her. For out of her came all. No, I don't want to do that. Okay. I'm going to start over at 10. For out of her came all at the first, and out of her shall all others come. And behold, they walk almost all into destruction, and a multitude of them is utterly rooted out. Who then should make more mourning than she that has lost so great a multitude, and not you which are sorry, but for one? But if you say unto me, my lamentation is not like the earth's, because I have lost the fruit of my womb, which I brought forth with pains and bare with sorrows, but the earth not so. For the multitude present in it, and according to the course of the earth, is gone as is came. Then I say unto you, like as you have brought forth with labor, even so the earth also has given her fruit, namely man, ever since the beginning, unto him that made her. Now therefore keep your sorrow to yourself, and bear with a good courage that which has befallen you. For if you shall acknowledge the determination of Elohim to be just, you shall both receive your son in time, and shall be commended amongst women. Go your way then into the city to your husband. And she said unto me, that I will not do. I will not go into the city, but here I will die. So I proceeded to speak further unto her, and said, do not so, but be counseled by me. For how many are the adversities of Sion? Be comfort in regard to the sorrow of Jerusalem, for you see that our sanctuary is laid waste, our altar broken down, our temple destroyed, our psaltery is laid on the ground, our song is put to silence, our rejoicing is at an end. The light of our candlestick is put out, the ark of our covenant is spoiled. Our holy things are defiled, and the name that is called upon us is almost profane. Our children are put to shame, our priests are burnt, our Levites are gone into captivity, our virgins are defiled, and our wives ravished, our righteous men carried away, our little ones destroyed, our young men are brought in bondage, and our strong men are become weak. And which is the greatest of all, the seal of Sion has now lost her honor, for she is delivered into the hands of them that hate us. And therefore shake off your great heaviness, and put away the multitude of sorrows, that the mighty may be merciful unto you again. And the highest shall give you rest and ease from thy labor. And if it come to pass, while I was talking with her, behold, her face upon a sudden shined exceedingly, and her countenance blistered, so that I was afraid of her, and mused what it might be. And behold, suddenly she made a great cry, very fearful, so that the earth shook at the noise of the woman. And I looked, and behold, the woman appeared unto me no more, but there was a city built, and a large place shown itself from the foundations. Then I was afraid, and cried with a loud voice, and said, Where is Uriel the angel, who came unto me at the first? For he has caused me to fall into many trances, and my end is turned into corruption, and my prayer to rebuke. Uriel's interpretation of the vision. And as I was speaking these words, behold, he came unto me and looked upon me. And lo, I lay as one that had been dead, and my understanding was taken from me. And he took me by the right hand, and comforted me, and set me upon my feet, and said unto me, What ails you? And why are you so disquieted? And why is your understanding troubled, and the thoughts of your heart? And I said, Because you have forsaken me, and yet I did according to your word. And I went into the field, and lo, I have seen, and yet see that I am not able to express. He said unto me, Stand up manfully, and I will advise you. Then I said, Speak on, my Lord, and only forsake me not, lest I die frustrated in my hope. For I have seen that I do not, and hear that I do not know. Or is my sense deceived, or my soul in a dream? Now therefore I beseech you, that you will show your servant of this vision. He then answered me and said, Hear me, and I shall inform you and tell you wherefore you are afraid, for the highest will reveal many secret things unto you. He has seen that your way is right, for that you sorrow continually for your people, and make great lamentation for Simon. This therefore is the meaning of the vision which you lately saw. You saw a woman mourning, and you began to comfort her. But now you see the likeness of the woman no more. But there appeared unto you a city built. And whereas she told you of the death of her son, this is the solution. This woman whom you saw is Sion, and whereas she said unto you, even she whom you saw as a built city. Whereas I say, she said unto you that she has been 30 years wherein there was no offering made in her. But after 30 years, Solomon built the city and offered offerings, and then bare the barren his son. And whereas she told you that she nourished him with labor, that was the dwelling in Jerusalem. But whereas she said unto you that my son coming into his marriage chamber happened to have a fall and died, this was the destruction to come to Jerusalem. And behold, you saw her likeness, and because she mourned for her son, you began to comfort her. And of these things which have chanced, these are to be opened unto you. For now the Most High sees that you are grieved unfeignedly, and suffer from your whole heart for her. So has he showed you the brightness of her glory, and the comeliness of her beauty. And therefore I bade you remain in the field where no house was built, for I knew that the highest would show this unto you. Therefore I commanded you to go into the field where no foundation of any building was. For in the place wherein the highest began to show his city, there can no man's building be able to stand. And therefore fear not, let not your heart be affrighted, but go your way in and see the beauty and greatness of the building, as much as your eyes be able to see. And then shall you hear as much as your ears may comprehend, for you are blessed above many others, and are called with the highest, and so are but few. But tomorrow at night you shall remain here, and so shall the highest show you the visions of the high things, which the Most High will do unto them that dwell upon the earth in the last days. So I slept that night, and another like as he commanded me. Ezra laments the sacking of Jerusalem. I'm going to read 11, and I'm going to go ahead and stop for today. Chapter 11. He sees in his dream an eagle coming out of the sea, and a lion out of the woods condemning and judging the eagle. The vision of the eagle. Then I saw a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 feathered wings and 3 heads. And I saw, and behold, she spread her wings over all the earth, and all the winds of the air blew on her, and were gathered together. And I beheld, and out of her feathers there grew other contrary feathers, and they became little feathers and small. But her heads were at rest. The head in the middle was greater than the other, yet it rested with the rest. Moreover, I beheld, and lo, the eagle flew with her feathers, and reigned upon the earth, and over them that dwelt therein. And I saw that all things under heaven were subject unto her, and no man spoke against her, no, not one creature upon the earth. And I beheld, and lo, the eagle rose upon her talons, and spoke to her feathers, saying, Watch not all at once, sleep everyone in his own place, and watch by course. But let the heads be preserved for the last. Can you be quiet? Shh. And I beheld, and lo, the voice went not out of her heads, but from the middle of her body. And I numbered her contrary feathers, and behold, there were 8 of them. And I looked, and behold, on the right side there arose 1 feather, and reigned over all the earth. And so it was, that when it rained, the end of it came, and the place thereof appeared no more. So the next following stood up, and reigned, and had a great time. And it happened that when it rained, the end of it came also, like as the first, so that it appeared no more. Then came there a voice into it, and said, Hear, you that has borne rule over the earth so long. And this I say unto you, before you begin to appear no more, there shall none after you attain unto your time, neither unto the half thereof. Then arose the third, and reigned as the other before, and appeared no more also. So it went with all the rest, one after another, as that everyone reigned, and then appeared no more. Then I beheld, and lo, in the process of time, the feathers that followed stood up upon the right side, that they might rule also. And some of them ruled, but within a while they appeared no more. For some of them were set up, but ruled not. After this I looked, and behold, the 12 feathers appeared no more, for the 2 little feathers, nor the 2 little feathers. And there was no more upon the eagle's body, but 3 heads that rested, and 6 little wings. Then saw I also the 2 little feathers divided themselves from the 6, and remained under the head that was upon the right side, and 4 continued in their place. And I beheld, and lo, the feathers that were under the wing thought to set up themselves, and to have a rule. And I beheld, and lo, there was shut up. And I beheld, and lo, there was one set up, but shortly it appeared no more. and the second was sooner away than the first. And I beheld, and lo, the two that remained thought also in themselves to reign. And when they so thought, behold, there awakened one of the heads that were at rest, namely, it that was in the middle, for that was greater than the two other heads. And then I saw that the two other heads were joined with it. And behold, the head was turned with them that were with it, and did eat up the two feathers under the wing that would have reigned. But this head put the whole earth in fear, and bare rule in it over all those that dwelt upon the earth, with much oppression, and it had the governance of the world more than all the wings that had been. And after this I beheld, and lo, the head that was in the midst suddenly appeared no more, like as the wings. But there remained the two heads, which also in like sort ruled upon the earth, and over those that dwelt therein. And I beheld, and lo, the head upon the right side devoured it, that was upon the left side. A lion refused from the forest. A lion roused from the forest. Excuse me. Then I heard a voice which said unto me, look before you and consider the thing that you see. And I beheld, and lo, as it were a roaring lion chased out of the wood. And I saw that he sent out a man's voice unto the eagle and said, hear you, I will talk with you, and the highest shall say unto you, are you not in the remains of the four beasts whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. For the earth have you not judged with truth? For you have afflicted the meek, you have hurt the peaceable, you have loved liars and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit. You have cast down the walls of such as did you no harm. Therefore, if your wrongful dealing came unto the highest, and your pride unto the mighty, the highest also has looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. And therefore appear no more, you eagle, nor your horrible wings, not your wicked feathers, not your malicious heads, nor your hurtful claws, nor all your vain body, that all the earth may be refreshed, and may return being delivered from your violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. So we have Habakkuk 1, 8 through 9, fragment of that series calls, their horses are swifter than leopards, and fleeter than evening wolves. Their horses step toward proudly and spread their wings. They fly from afar like an eagle, avid to devour. All of them come for violence. The look on their faces is like the east wind. Lion of Yehudah speaks. The eagle disappears. Prophetic commentary in Qumran interpreted this concerns the Kittim, who trample the earth with their horses and beasts. They come from afar, from the islands of the sea, to devour all the peoples like an eagle, which cannot be satisfied, and they address all the peoples with anger and wrath and fury and indignation. Kittim and Roman Empire evil. As this is the continuation of Daniel's fourth beast. In more detail, this is the new Roman Empire called the Holy Roman Empire, which moves its capitals, even as evidenced in Esdras' vision. There is only one final empire, and it is a mixture with the Roman Empire as is superseded it. and must still remain until the end. Esdras even notes it is presumed to have disappeared and its true power hidden. Qumran was reading the second Esdras. Okay. Okay, so this is our interpretation of the eagle heads. The heads at rest, concealed until the end. Okay, let's see here. Came up from the sea. Okay. The United States, the new Atlantis known as her. Left head rules Earth, second, and is devoured by the right. Though not as large in territory, 40% of the world nations are occupied by the U.S. military presence. The true executor of the British Empire position in the world as a superpower, world power, already dividing as the final head takes its position. Left hand, right hand. Okay, let's get back up here. All right. So, Britain, the empire on which the sun never sets, larger head awakens first, rules earth and disappears, subdues fourth of the earth, no longer an empire, known as she. Okay. The Vatican remains to the end when Messiah, the Lion, removes it from power, known as our mother. Okay. Let the heads be preserved for the last, the final empire, Holy Roman Empire. Heads reign over earth. Okay. Let's see here. Though smaller, the Vatican is the true power behind the final empire, concealed or preserved to the end. It is the second beast who rises out of the earth and false prophet who prepares the way for the anti-Messiah. Wings and feathers rise and fall from the power while heads rest the same empire. The prince demon power behind all these is Gog of Magog, whose seat is west and central Europe. It is his voice which comes from the middle of the body of the beast. This is why the voice came from the middle of the body and not the heads, as this body is possessed. Note, though an antithesis, communism is the philosophy of a German son of a rabbi. It was funded by the U.S. and Britain in the Bolshevik Revolution, still falling into this same body of rule. The two opposing feathers are likely China and Russia. This is the continuation of Daniel's prophecy of the four beasts. This eagle or phoenix is the final beast. The empire has existed since the Roman Empire fell, but it is a mixture and partly weak, as Daniel expresses and Ezra exposes, the preservation or really hiding of the true power over the ages until the end. The symbol of this eagle has remained within the Holy Roman Empire, and its powers, who have risen and fallen, even royal houses and symbol for many centuries, will leave such enumeration to others, but the heads, we believe, can be firmly identified today. Okay, here we go. All right, so let me read what you said here. For when the body is fashioned now in the mother's womb, and yes, creature is preserved in fire, water, that means death. Yes, that's it. That's exactly what I was referencing. You know, I was just looking at where it said fire, you know. Yeah, the creature is preserved in fire and water. And 9 months doth thy workmanship endure the creature. Yes. So why would it reference fire in the womb? You know? I don't know. You know, I mean, maybe I'm mixing apples and oranges together. You know, I mean, I've always thought we were fashioned, you know, from clay, from dirt. We come from dirt. You know, God made us from dirt, and I know that we were a separate creation. I was taught that we were a separate creation from angels, because angels were fashioned from fire, and they were older beings than humans. But maybe that's not the same thing that's being referenced right there. I don't know. The spirit, yeah. I mean, well, I get the fire of the Holy Spirit. You know what I mean? I get that, but okay, all right. So yeah, that makes perfect sense. Excuse me. I was mixing apples and oranges. I'm assuming, yeah. Okay, yeah, I've got a bit. I need to get something to drink in a second. I was trying to find this one notebook. Okay, I don't know who spoke on this word, but excuse me, I'm gonna read it real quick. Give me just a second. I was crunching on couple pieces of white chocolate covered popcorn. I didn't want to be crunching in your ear. I had to chew it up real quick. Okay, so okay. Hopefully I can find out where I wrote it. Because a lot of times I used to hear things like on YouTube, and you know, they were meaningful, so I would jot down, since I would jot it down so I wouldn't forget it later. And I was thinking this was written in dark ink. So this is what really prompted me. Oh, here it is. This is what really prompted me to come over here and read Esdras. So it says here, well, I wish I knew whose broadcast it was or who said it, because I didn't get it down. It says the end of America in this book of Ezra, second Ezra. How long shall I endure them? For these are my rebellious people. Go and declare to my people their evil deeds and all they've done against me. God speaking, the sins have, I think it says increased. The sins they've come against me. They offer sacrifices to strange gods. Was it no, I who brought them out of Egypt already? And then it says, something of bondage, like America, freed from England. But they have angered me and despised me. Excuse me. Okay. Pull out their head and all evils. And so they cannot obey the law. They are rebellious people. How long shall I live? With whom I bestowed such great benefits. I mean, that could be very well on empire as well, couldn't it? And for their sake, I've overthrown kings. I have struck down Pharaoh, the servants, and I've destroyed all nations before them, slain all their enemies. Speak to them and say this. They say the Lord, it is I who brought you and made safe. There's no road I gave you Moses as a leader. He will forsake us. He will turn to other nations who love him. He will be cast away from presence. He will be made desolate. He will give our homes to other people who believe in blind faith. Okay. So I don't know if that's referencing. Somebody said it was in the fall of America, but it could be. It could be Jerusalem. It could be the UK. It could be America. It could be the whole Roman Empire. I don't know. I'm gonna have to continue reading for myself. Let's see what I get. See where I'm with this here. And that's why I'm glad you're here with me because two or more together you can't be deceived. There's just one, namely me being a woman. I guess they assume I could be deceived. So, anyway, okay. This is my friend's birthday. My friend over in stereo. Let's see here real quick. Link color. Let me shout her out real quick. Just so she knows. I mean, I don't know if she's still over there live or not. She goes by the Lady Joker, but that's not her real name. Her real name's Candace. So, happy birthday, Candace. Hopefully, I'll see you over on that other app so I can wish you a happy birthday there. And thanks for joining me and helping learn and gain wisdom and understanding of this word. Because I do feel like it's a valid canon. And they left it out for a reason. It's nefarious, but that's my own opinion. We'll take it that way, or we can leave it that way. All right. You have a wonderful rest of your night, and whoever else joined in with us, thanks for coming in and having a listen. May you be blessed in Jesus' most precious name. God willing, I'm still around. I'll catch you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.